charge of SIES, Indian Institute of Environment Management, Navi Mumbai. Dr. Sharma holds a PhD in Environmental Management from IIT Bombay with specialization in life cycle assessment of solid waste management. She has been associated with several prestigious national and international projects, collaborating with institutions such as Japan Bank of International Cooperation, AIST Japan, ERIA Indonesia, NTU Singapore, and has contributed to key policy documents, including the Maharashtra State Development Report and the State of Environment Report for the Government of India. Her research and advocacy focus on sustainable development, environmental management, energy and climate action, with active engagement in education, training, and policy development. A prolific researcher and academic leader, she has published widely and organized numerous capacity-building programs in India and abroad. Today, she will share her insights on education for sustainable development and climate action, a topic crucial to shaping environmentally responsible and future-ready citizens. Before we begin, I would request Mr. Kamlesh, sir, so that he can come and he can give us the memento as our appreciation, a potted plant. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. Dr. Kamlesh Kumar, presenting the potted plant. Once again, please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Sangeeta V Sharma to the dais. You don't want the table?
No, I can use this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Anything else?
No, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Can I hear? Good afternoon. See, I have this daunting task of keeping you all awake after a good, heavy lunch. So I need your support. Please listen to me. My 45 minutes is also 15 minutes. I promise to finish it as fast as I can. So I welcome all my fellow educators. I'd like to thank the organizing committee of the AEES for inviting us. And I welcome all my educators, teachers. So today I have been asked to speak, actually the theme is transforming education for the future, empowering teachers to lead a changing world. In today's scenario, I don't think anything could be more relative than this, because we have seen the climate systems are changing. There are new innovations coming up every day to address different issues, whether it is climate change or any other form of environmental pollution. We also have societies that have to redefine their skills to cope with whatever is happening. Young people are now, we have given them a world which has so many challenges, and they have to address those challenges. So this topic is just absolutely right on target. Now, when we speak of education for sustainable development and climate action, what I'd like to say here is that it's nothing new. It's not an add-on to your syllabus or something like that. It is just, as I say, it is the amalgamation of essential skills, your core competencies, and also a moral imperative for all of us. So in my talk today, I will try to explore how we, as educators, can integrate sustainability thinking, making responsible choices, so that we can contribute to a sustainable future. And as all the speakers before me have said, we are the change agents. Educators are playing the role of transformators. So as transformators, what all can we do to contribute in our own small way to making our future sustainable and livable? It's nothing to be scared of when we hear that, okay, there's climate action and there are floods and all, but every problem has a solution, and we are here to try and find out how best, what world we can give to our students. As we heard from the other speakers, the teaching, instead of being teacher-centric, should be student-centric. But I think it also begins from us. If we don't understand what we are going to impart to the kids, I don't think the job is done. So it's first very important for us to understand where we are, where we stand, and then we can transit from teacher-centric to student-centric teaching. So today I will be covering, I'll just go through briefly about what is Education for Sustainable Development. I've used the acronym ESD and climate action. Why does it matter today? And how we can implement it, how we can integrate it into our subjects in school, and what is the role of all of us sitting here as leaders, as teachers, principals, vice principals, headmistress, or even administrators, how we can contribute to making this a better world, and of course, the summary and inspiration. So when we talk about climate action, we all know that United Nations has the 17 SDGs, and the SDG 4 is related to quality education. But personally, I think when we are educating our kids about education related to environment, all 17 are equally important, because some way or the other they are related, they are interdependent, they are intertwined. So I'm just going through a definition of ESD for all of us to understand what it means. It's an approach where education empowers the learners, in our case it will be our students, with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to make informed and responsible choices for their well-being of the environment, economy, society, and future generation. So here what we are trying to say is that the kids must, what the knowledge that we are going to give them must help them make those choices which are environmentally benign, socially just, yet economically viable. So all three go hand in hand. Now, in the global context, why has this become so important today? Why is it so critical today? Because we keep reading that there is this threat where the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has warned us that we just have less than a decade for our global temperature to exceed that 1.5 degrees centigrade. But here there's nothing to be, frightened about. I mean, these things happen, but we have to address these problems. And in terms of education, UNESCO has mandated that ESD is critical, and it has done this for many, many years. It is critical for us to integrate it into our teaching so that the kids can learn how they can deal with several challenges which they are faced with today in terms of ecology, in terms of environment. And in the Indian perspective, we have heard our speakers in the morning also speak, so I will not go through this in detail, how NEP also mandates it. We also had a Green India mission, which I think came way back in 2014, where ecological restoration was very important. But here, education played a very, very important part, because education builds your human capital. So if your foundation is there, then you're on the right track. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is ESD is comprehensive, it is holistic. See, today environment does not stand just as a scientific, with a scientific blend. Environment is holistic. It involves everything. It involves the economy, it involves the society, it involves technology, it involves your policy, and of course, the stakeholders who are involved, that is the teachers, the students, the industry, all of us together can make a difference. So that's why when I say ESD is holistic, interdisciplinary, and action-oriented, it will integrate all, including cultural dimensions. And I think I've covered most of this. We have to, so I will rush through. All right. Now, why has it become critical today? See, now climate change is nothing new. I mean, it's not some like a rocket science. Climate change exists, it always existed, but today it's become so critical because our own activities, anthropogenic activities, are contributing to the harmful effects, with great speed. पहले होता था, ऐसे नहीं कि नहीं होता था, मगर आज उसका परिणाम हमें इसलिए महसूस हो रहा है बिकॉज हमारी एक्टिविटीज़ ने उसे और कॉम्प्लिकेट कर दिया है. तो हम उसे किस तरह एड्रेस कर सकते हैं, ये हम शिक्षा के माध्यम से हमारे बच्चों तक पहुंचा सकते हैं. Future workforce, through education, we are creating a future workforce. You see now there are, we talk about transiting from conventional energy to renewable energy. So all these require skills, green jobs. So you require special skills. So the children have to be trained. I think students in general have to be trained how these transitions will take place. Systems thinking, critical problem solving, as all the speakers before me have spoken about, so I will not go through this. Now, schools are the strongest systems of behavioral change because as a teacher, you can influence your students far more than their parents. I have experienced all through my 35, 40 years of practice that children consider the guru to be everything. They actually live it as Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So they consider the teacher to be everything. So if you are the role model, if you inculcate those values to those children, I am sure we will come up with a generation which is able to deal and also go hand in hand with the environment which we are in today. Teachers as change leaders because you spark curiosity and you can also create responsible citizens. I've just shown you a few slides on why it has become so important because of the changing climate patterns. Today we have either deficit rainfall or in some regions we are having droughts, floods, and so the focus now is on climate action. Now, this is the best way that we can implement it. How can we implement it in schools? As I said, the teachers are not transmitters of knowledge. You are now the facilitators of information. Now, in the classroom, there are simple ways that we can incorporate it in our lessons because, as I said, it's just an add-on. It's not something that is extra. So, for example, you can incorporate things like understanding carbon footprint. Very simple. What is carbon footprint? That means transportation, like how the kids are coming to school. You can have like an activity related to this because transportation means greenhouse gas emissions. So basic calculations of carbon footprint. There's no rocket science in it. They can do waste audits. They can do energy audits. We all get bills. Electricity bills. So based on that, per unit of electricity, it can be given as an activity to the child. Why? Because we keep telling them, switch off the light, switch off the fan, but why are we telling them that? Because you want to conserve power. Actually, just day before yesterday, we held a session in a school, and one of the administrators shared something really beautiful. He said that he has a box kept in his room, and in that there is a fine of 5 rupees to be paid if any classroom has the light running or the fan running. So the teacher is held responsible and is supposed to come and put the 5 rupee. Now the 5 rupee in the box is not a punishment. It's just that to make them aware that, see, next time you do this, you will have to pay that fine. And then that money, of course, is used for their samosa party on Saturdays. So if you want more samosas, you just keep the light and fan running, so you can put more money there. But that's just a joke. So, and also there was one very good concept which they have, is called Happy Saturdays. On Saturdays, only on Monday to Friday, they have actual study. All subjects and things like this. But on Saturday, they have activities like either waste management or maybe some energy thing or a dance or a drama related. So you could incorporate environment into all these. I'll go into the next slide, how it can be incorporated into different subjects. So it makes it interesting for the children, and they look forward to that happy Saturday to contribute in their own way. They have different activities, like we did a plantation on Saturday for them. My institute is the SIES Indian Institute of Environment Management, and we have received a project from BPCL to have Miyawaki plantations in different schools. So we have about a mandate of doing it in 100 schools in the MMR region. So that is, we need just 10 square meter of space, and we will make the plantations and maintain it for 2 years. So here what we developed is, we have developed eco clubs within the school. We get students from say 8th to 10th standard, or maybe 5th to 10th standard, and they are the eco club members, and they will take the responsibility of the plantation. Even this Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam is a very good concept. So in our plantations, what we do is we would like one child to be responsible for one plantation. In 10 square meter, we can plant about 50 saplings. Okay? So each child takes the responsibility of one sapling. So they, वो जुड़ जाते हैं उससे. So यही main हमारा मकसद है कि आप धरती से जुड़ जाओ. So actually when you start taking care of those plantations, you understand many things in, how to maintain the plant. Slowly, I think by conditioning, we can make a lot of change in these young minds. Skill building is, again, air quality data. Air quality data, we keep reading about AQI. Simple methods of explaining to the children what is AQI. पहले तो उसका मतलब क्या है, what does it stand for? Whether it is PM 2.5, whether it is PM 10, all these little differences, if the children understand, then they will know what is the meaning. Because just saying an AQI of 300 in Delhi is very bad. But why? Why is it bad? अगर आप बच्चों को ये समझाकर उनकी curiosity through a game, I will come to that. There are many games. Actually, Dr. Arnab just said they have come up with a game for waste management. So gamifying things also, because आजकल के बच्चे prefer that more than reading. So even if you gamify something, make it an activity in your school, and I'm sure you can come up with many ideas. These are just some ideas. Many places we have green campus initiatives, like they have this energy efficiency or water conservation, where everybody knows that don't leave that tap running. Small things like that, I'm sure children are already aware of it. We have to just remind them. Waste segregation and plantations. And I think all schools could, I'm sure you're already doing this, but up your potential for student-led projects like beach cleaning, or maybe just collecting plastic waste from your own schools and segregating it, composting it. These are small activities which will make the children realize what are we talking about in terms of environment, in terms of ecology. Now, this is how I'm sure NEP has already told us about this, but these are just some practical ways where many schools have, who have approached us and we have suggested, have also implemented it in their school. In science, you can have renewable energy experiments where you can make a windmill and show the children what are the effects. Waste audits, air quality, I've already covered. In maths, you can do the carbon footprint calculations. They're very simple. You can have problems when you make, instead of telling them the subtraction and addition problems in the general way that you have 2 apples if I take away 1. Instead, if you do some activity related to carbon footprint calculations, I'm sure it will engage them more. And more than rote learning, it is like understanding what we are dealing with today in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. Rainwater harvesting estimation. This can be done in maths. In social science, of course, you have many things like sustainability and equity, making them understand that difference. In languages also, the best way is essays and debates. Art and craft, EVS, more. I'm sure many, another thing about, I'm sure we have some teachers who are teaching EVS. Any teachers here teaching EVS? Hi. All right. So here about EVS also, I don't know whether you follow this, but when my kids were in school, they are 18 and 16 today, but when they were younger in primary, they used to study about these plants, herbal plants, tulsi, neem, and sometimes it used to be an activity given to them in SUPW. But the tragic part was that they were just given one Xerox sheet with a photograph of tulsi and neem, which was you couldn't see what it was, and they were made to understand that this is it, these are the medicinal uses of this. So then we suggested in one of the PTA meetings that why don't you actually have a tulsi pot? Why don't you have a neem tree so that the child can feel the leaf, smell the leaf, and then he or she will understand what you are talking about. And later on, it was implemented in school. So these are small changes. It may sound very silly, but this will make them understand. If you tell me that this is a tulsi plant and this is a neem plant on a cyclostyle sheet of paper versus actually showing it to me, I think it makes a difference. Do you follow this, ma'am? I'm so happy. Big clap for you. Okay? Okay? I'm so happy. Big clap for this, because this is what we are talking about instead of theory, doing it practically, because then the kids understand. So big, yes, ma'am. Yes. Wonderful, absolutely. And you are known for the best waste management in the city, in India, Indore. So very good. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so digital resources, maybe Dr. Arnab, they will look up to you for the gamification platforms and virtual labs to make climate education more interactive. So role of the school leadership is very, very critical. As I said, as leaders, we set the tone. What you do as a leader is followed by that entire ecosystem, whether it is your teachers, whether it is your administrative staff, it is your students. What you do, they will follow. So institutional commitment is essential. We need a sustainability policy in place to give direction to the students. We also need proper resource allocation wherever possible. You can introduce like rainwater harvesting, like they've already included that microseed, and she has a herbal garden. So these are small things which will, in which the kids will see day to day and in real life what we are actually preaching in books. Capacity building is regular training for the teachers themselves so that they can impart that knowledge to the students. Monitoring and documentation. I'm sure most schools are undergoing a green audit. Do you all do your green audits? Environment and waste management and energy audits. So that also you can get your kids involved in that, in collecting the data. Partnerships again with the local municipalities and research institutes. So I just have my last 5-step framework. One is you can assess, so conduct a baseline audit of your own school, whether it is energy, waste, or water. And in that, make it a basic thing in a worksheet where you can have the children involved in it so they understand what data they are collecting. Engage, of course, teachers, students, non-teaching staff. Integrate is, as I have mentioned earlier, integrate that sustainability aspect into your subjects. Implement is start with very, very simple, feasible actions, and showcase. Celebrate those achievements that you have made. Make a big noise about it, that we did this, we collected this waste, we did that, because the children feel happy, they feel responsible. Oh, I was part of this, this movement or this activity. So summary is that education, we require a fundamental change of our own mindset to be able to deliver to our kids. And climate action is urgent because of everything that we are reading about in the papers about the climate difficulties which we are having. So climate action, I want to say, begins with awareness. Awareness means knowing about it, accepting it, that, okay, this exists, and we need to take some steps, some actions for it. Sustainability will begin with habits. Habits are nothing but conditioning. You have to keep, like you keep repeating things to your students, to keep repeating. Transformative education will begin with teachers like you. So I want to give a big hand to you because I'm sure you're already doing a great job. So I just want to say, let's ignite our own curiosity, nurture empathy, create a generation which does not fear the future, but which builds it with the right knowledge and your support. And that's about it, I think. I don't have more time. So I'm done with my thing. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We sincerely thank Dr. Sangeeta V Sharma for her enlightening and thought-provoking session on education for sustainable development and climate action. Her research-based insights and global perspective have highlighted the vital role educators play in shaping environmentally responsible citizens. Each of us will surely integrate the ESD across all our respective subjects and be the change leaders. I request Dr. A.K. Dureja to come up onto the stage and present a memento as a mark of our gratitude and appreciation for her valuable contribution.